Hey guys, my name is David. Welcome to Fearless TV. We're so excited you've joined us today. I know this message is going to impact you in such a powerful way. If you've been watching our previous messages or even today, you're just positively impacted or really moved by this message, we encourage you to share it with a friend. Put it on your Facebook, your Instagram story. We want to get the word out about what God is doing through Fearless here in LA. Or if you're saying, hey, how do I further partner with the mission of what Fearless is doing, what God is really doing through our church in downtown LA, reaching these people who don't know Jesus, we have our Fearless Partnerships. It's basically just a group of people who are giving monthly, whether a part of our church or you're states away and you're just saying, I want to sow into what God is doing. You can give monthly to the vision of Fearless. You can go to fearlessla.com, click on the giving link. There's a whole description in there. I encourage you, read about it, pray on it, and just be obedient to the voice of God as He speaks to you. Other than that, check out this amazing message from our pastor. We love you guys. We'll see you soon.
Hey, let's turn, if we got our Bibles, let's turn to Psalms and Ephesians. Let's start in Ephesians chapter 3, verse number 18. And I am entitling this message today, This is How I Fight My Battles. Come on, turn to your neighbor, say, neighbor, I don't know how you fight your battles, but this is how I fight my battles. Anybody ever been in a good battle? Anybody ever been in a fight, man? I would always pick the biggest friend I could and bring him into every fight with me because I was the small guy. We have any other people with small man syndrome, or you just grab the biggest friend you got. That was my high school years. I made a lot of friends with big people, and I have a new friend. His name is Jesus. I bring him into every fight that I have. In fact, I don't have to bring him in. He's already there. Amen. Ephesians chapter 3, verse number 18. And let's read this together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. So that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith. And I pray that you, being rooted and established in love, may have power together. What's that word? What's that word? That you may have power alone? No. So just know, when you're in a battle, the first thing the devil's going to try to do is to get you alone. Because you lose your power when you're alone. The first thing people is going to try to make you mad at is not mad at him. He's going to make you try to be mad at the people you need to get next to. So you have power where? You have power where? Together with all the Lord's, in case you were confused on who we're talking about the Lord's holy people. To grasp, come on, here we go, let's read it together. To grasp how wide, how long, and high, and deep is the love of Christ. And to know this love that surpasses knowledge, that you may be filled to the measure of the fullness of, what was it? All the fullness. Some of you caught the word I missed. To be filled with all the fullness, to the measure of all the fullness of God. Now to him who is able to do. Come on, turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor, there is a power that is at work within you. Come on. I love that Paul is trying to help the first church capture, he's trying to put it in human terms, this thing that God has for us called love. He said, look, if I'm going to help you fight your battles, because the first church, you know they were going through some battles, right? Oh, you don't know that. You think their battles were like ours? Like they got fired from a job, so they thought about not serving Jesus? No. They were being fed to lions for their faith. They were being crucified upside down. They would sew them into the skins of dead bodies, like animal dead bodies, and put them in an arena and watch. They would bring people, and other people would watch Christians being torn apart. They were going through some battles. Just to say, at that point, you weren't just joining church unless you really want. It wasn't like there was no lunch with pastors and you got a free meal and like you could be on the edge. You were either in or you were out. And so Paul is saying, let me tell you how to fight your battles. Let me tell you how to be crucified upside down. Let me tell you how to be sewn into the skin of an animal and be fed to another animal. Let me tell you, one of the emperors named Nero, he hated Christians because he felt like they worshiped not him, but their God. He didn't like worship anyone other than him. So he made a garden of Christians. He put them on poles in his garden, soaked them in gasoline wax, and would light them on fire to light the street in the back of his garden. These are the believers that Paul is preaching to. So for all the believers today, all of us that got a hangnail, and we thinking about getting off this ship, if this helped them fight their battles, hopefully this can help us fight our battles. Now let me let you know, you may have a hangnail in Christianity, but you have the same devil coming against you. Okay, so I'm not saying that it is less effective. He's just gotten more effective in our mind. In fact, he saw that crucifying the church upside down actually grew their potency. Because if you're a real Christian and you're really following Christ, at that moment, you either step up or you step out. If America ever goes through that kind of trial again, Christianity will be strengthened. Because all of a sudden, God has to be real. But the devil has doled the battle down all the way to our minds. So you come in this room, many people come in this room, which is much harder battle to fight, and you fight it alone. You fight it wanting help, wanting someone to help you out, but you are alone in this battle. Today, no Goliath is going to jump over the fence of downtown LA and stand and start mocking Fearless Church, and no David is going to rise and start throwing stones at the giant. I mean, that for us, that might actually be easier than going through the battles, the secret battles, the private battle. I know you look nice. I know you, please don't let the bomb fool you. Just because you paint a bomb and you decorate a bomb goes off because of what's on the inside, not because of what's on the outside. Please don't fool you that people in this room are not walking through depression because they look cute. Don't let the suit and the hair and the nails fool you. We are all walking through battles. We are all walking through trials. We are all having to say, man, I'm going to keep believing even though I don't want to believe anymore. Hey, why are you telling us that? Because I don't want you to feel alone, because you're not alone. You are right next to someone who maybe just conquered the giant you're being mocked by, and their faith connected with your faith. That's why he calls it the shield of faith, because they would hook their shields together to bring protection. Look, I'm just encouraging you. We're not here today just to do some kind of nice little religious thing. We got to become a family. But greater than even a family, we got to become an army. Amen? Come on, touch your neighbor next to you and say, this is how we fight our battles. Paul is describing to the church, he said, I've been praying for you. I've been praying for you that you would stay rooted and established in love. He said, love has to be the thing that fuels the root. Not position, not promotion, not righteousness, not religion. Love is the greatest of all the commandments. The Bible says this, it says, I could wrap them up in one. He says, love the Lord God with everything you have. Love God with all that you are. But then love others as you love yourself. So in other words, you can't love others unless you love you. And you can't love you unless you're loved by him. He says, first, love God with everything you have, your mind, your soul, your spirit. Then you will be able to love others as you love yourself. Paul is saying, look, how you fight your battles is you get rooted in love. You get rooted and established. You let it be your fuel, your substance. When you wake up in the morning, you are not putting on accolades. You are not putting up likes. You are not adding to the followers. You are rooted in love. If you're rooted in love, it doesn't matter how much they love you. If you're rooted in love, it doesn't matter how much they applaud you. If you're rooted in love, it doesn't matter how much they back you up. Look, I don't need love from you. I got enough love from him. And boy, does he love me. You can hate on me if you want, but you won't have to deal with me. You're going to have to deal with him. It was him who chose to anoint me like this. It was him who chose to love me like this. It was him who chose me. I didn't even choose him. I didn't try to twist his arm. He picked me to lavish his incredible love on me. So if you hate me, you don't really hate me. You hating on him. I didn't paint me. I didn't do me. It was him who made me. Established and rooted in his love. You can know that you're not established or rooted in his love if you're still trying to get other people to love you, to feel better about you. Feel confident about you comes from their love. You can only receive that confidence when it comes from him. Paul was saying, if you're gonna fight this battle, you have to remain rooted and established in his love, so that you may have power together with the Lord's holy people. Look, in other words, he's saying again, you cannot do Jesus by yourself. To all those that love God but hate people, love God but don't like the church, let me let you know, these other people in the church are God's kids too. I'm laughing because I could imagine someone coming up to me and saying, Pastor, I love your son Brave, but I dislike Lyric. And for that person to actually think we're gonna have relationship, because isn't it enough that I love Brave? Does it nullify me not loving Lyric? No, they're both my kids. I love them equally. This is also to help you start loving yourself. How can you love others if you don't love you? Did you not know you're God's kid also? He said, look, we're going to be established and rooted together. You can't do Jesus alone. Jesus is together. Jesus will actually make you put yourself in the middle of a crazy group of people like this that can hurt you and can walk out on you and can wound you. And he will give you the strength to be sustained because you are not rooted in who's next to you. You are rooted in him. And he says, I want to give you this power. And when you're doing that, you're going to be able to grasp how wide, how long, how high, and how deep the love of Christ goes. So don't be fooled when you meet someone that goes, can you still love me out here? And you go, well, let me check. I got the love of Jesus? Yep, it's working out there. What about out here? Yeah, I can love you out there too. I can love you as far as you run and as far as you run in. Look, the love of Jesus can only be grasped when we deal with frail, insecure, broken other people. It can only be tested in the battlefield. It can only be tested. Come on. Didn't Jordan Sparks say love is a battlefield? Can I get a witness? Come on. Love is a battlefield, but thank God it is not my battle. Thank God my God's weapons of love can withstand even every... Look at it with Jesus. He didn't kick Judas out of the group. He knew he was going to betray him, but he let him be in charge of the money. You tell me who in this room knows someone's going to betray him and is like, oh, you go ahead and deal with my finances. That's love. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying you do what you do, but I'm saying here's the level of what Jesus did. This is the level of his love. Look, how, God, I want to know. Hey, be careful praying. God, I want to know how big your love is. Because he will show you. He'll bring a broken person next to you. You say, man, God, why is this person here? They're irritating me. I just wanted to know how big your love is. He goes, yeah, I'm trying to show you how big it is because inside you, right? Oh, there's not that much. Well, then it's not my love. Paul says, look, I want you to know this love that surpasses knowledge. In other words, this love is not learned, it's experienced. You could sit in the classroom all day. I could tell you about it all day, but until you feel it, until you experience it, you have no clue what it is. You can say, man, I've been around Christians a lot. I've seen people. I've gone to church a lot. Here's my question. Have you experienced the love of Jesus where you were down and out and you were at the bottom of the barrel? You didn't deserve it. You didn't earn it. You couldn't receive it. And God said, I love you anyways. You see, the people that are standing and clapping are those people. They are testifying because they have been through the depths. They got all the way down there and they go, your love, it works down here. I got reception down here too. This is better than T-Mobile, better than Sprint. This love has reception everywhere. Yeah. Paul says this is how you're going to fight your battles. And then he says that you may be filled to the measure of, and he doesn't say that you would be filled with a pint of his love or a gallon or 100 million gallons. He says that you would be filled to the measure of all the fullness of God. I don't even know what that looks like, but I'm going to start a journey in my life to find out. I'm on a journey to feel and live and go to the depths and go to the heights and go to the right and go to the left and realize that my God is not just where I'm at. He's where I'm going. He's where I've been. He's where I failed. He's where I succeeded. Look, Paul is trying to, he said, now him who is able to do immeasurably more than all you can ask or imagine. Do we have any creative, imaginative people in here? God wants to do more than you can imagine. Your imagination cannot handle your God. That's good news, because my imagination can work me. My imagination can mess me up. God says, my love is bigger than your imagination. It's bigger than your dark dreams. It's bigger than your nightmares. It's bigger than what you thought would happen. My love will meet you where you don't even know you can be met. My love is greater. It's bigger. Come on, somebody say, this is how we fight our battles. Come on, say, this is how we fight our battles. Come on, somebody else say, this is how we fight our battles. We explore. We become pioneers. We discover the love of God. I love it. Oh, I love it. I love that he wants to fill you with the measure of the fullness of God. Fill me up, Lord. Look, God's not giving you a Happy Meal size. Fill me up. Here's a Happy Meal. Here's your portion of prayer that you did. Here's enough for how much giving you gave. Here's how faithful you've been. No, God says, no, just stick up your hands. Stick up your heart to heaven. You're my son. You're my daughter. I'm already well pleased in you. It's not about what you do. It's about what I do. And I'm not going to give you a small little portion of myself. I'm not going to give you what you paid for. I'm going to give you what my son paid for on the cross. He said, this is how we fight our battles. Look, he says, Psalms 139:1. He says this, for the director of music. Come on, for those that are going to direct the music in their generation. Of David, a psalm. You have searched me, O Lord, and you know me. You know when I sit and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from far. You discern my going and my coming and my lying down. You are familiar with all my ways. Before a word is on my tongue, Lord, you know it completely. You hem me in from behind and before, and you lay down your hand upon me. I love that even though he knows the words that you never let out of your mouth, God still chooses you. People that laugh know some dark words that have been in your head. And God says, no, I know them. The words that people don't know. When she goes, hey, how do I look? And you're like, you look horrible, but praise God, you look beautiful, lady. That word, that disgusting word, that hurtful word, God knew you thought it, even though you didn't say it. Yet, he puts his hand on you. That's a big, amazing love. He knows where I lay, where I don't lay. Such knowledge, David said, is too wonderful for me, too lofty for me to obtain. Psalms 139:7 says, where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go to the heavens, you are there. I love that. If I go to the heavens, what? You're there. I love that it says you're there, because it says if I go to the heavens, it doesn't say you will arrive there. It says when I get there, you were already there. This is important. When I go to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, another version says in hell, you are there. If I rise on the wings of dawn, if I settle on the far side of the sea, even there your hand will guide me. Your right hand will hold me fast. If I say, surely the darkness will hide me and the light will become night around me, even the darkness will not be dark to you. The night will shine like the day and darkness as to light to you. Look, what David is saying, look, God, I can't go anywhere and escape you. Let me say it this way. God doesn't move, he manifests. We keep praying for God to move. God, move on our city, move on our church, move in my life. And God's like, why do you keep praying that? I don't move. I am immovable. I am omnipresent. I'm everywhere all the time. Can I tell you this? Someone came to this nightclub another night that they had a nightclub. They got invited here by their cousin or something. They said, you know, if I'll go to church with you, you come with me to nightclub. So they came here on like a rager. And they said, Pastor, I've been to a lot of nightclubs, but in this nightclub, I felt the tangible presence of God on Saturday night like I did Sunday morning. I said, well, I want to tell you something. I want to say God is in every nightclub. He's in every strip club. He's in every bar. He's in every hotel room. It's just you have new eyes to see the God that has never left, never forsaken you. Look, God doesn't move. He manifests. We need to start praying, God, show me your glory. Show me where you're at in this. I know I feel like hell, but even you could make a prison into a palace. Show me where you're at. Didn't he say to Moses? Moses said, who are you in this burning bush? And God said, what? I am. You know what he was saying? Wherever you are, I am. What about my past? I am in your past. What about my present? I am in your present. What about my future? I am in your future. What about my failings? I am. What about my fallings? I am. What about my... He is the I am God. He will never leave you, never forsake you. You can't outrun him. I know we think we can, but so did Adam. He's in the garden, he's messed up, and he starts hiding in the trees. How stupid does this look? Here's God. I see you. You can't see me, right? Because I'm hiding in creation. I'm hiding in my job. I'm hiding in my accolades. I'm hiding in my performance. I'm hiding in my religion. I'm hiding in my friendships. And God goes, okay, then we got to remove the religion. We got to remove the friendships. We got to remove the job, because I want you naked and afraid. I want you to know that I will clothe you. I will be your front and rear guard. I see you right where you are, and I'm not ashamed of your nakedness. You've always been naked. I love you in spite. Not because of you, because of me. You said, when are you going to stop doing this? I'm going to keep preaching until you get it. I'm going to keep saying it till you hear it. I'm going to keep preaching this and preaching this. I'm going to say it 15 different ways till we get done with this sermon. And some of you that have walls up against the love of God, those walls are going down. I'll tell you, it's too late. You already came in this service. You should run out as fast as you can. You better buckle up your seatbelt because the love of God is going to hit this place like a wave. I'm going to keep chopping at that tree till it comes down. I didn't show up here to play games. I showed up here to deliver a word to a generation that is ready for God to move in their lifetime. David said, if I go to hell, you're with me. If I go to the depths, you're with me. Job was trying to fight this God. Job was trying to wrestle with this God because he was walking through things he didn't understand. And here's what God told Job. Look at this. I love it. Job 38. You have to see this. I don't know if you ever seen God talk back. He's a holler back at you, girl. He's going to holler back. You can holler at God, but he's going to holler back. I'll just let you know. He ain't no holler back girl. He's a holler back God. Job 38, verse number 2. The Lord answered Job from the whirlwind. Who is this that questions my wisdom with such arrogant words? Verse 3, buckle up your seatbelt, yo. No, brace yourself like a man, because I have some questions for you, Job, and you must answer them. Where were you, Job, so smart, when I laid the foundations of the earth? Tell me if you know so much. Who determined its dimensions and stretched out its surveying line? Who supports its foundations and who laid its cornerstone? As the morning stars sang together and all the angels shouting for joy, who kept the sea inside its boundaries as it burst from its womb? And as I clothed it with clouds and wrapped it in thick darkness, for I locked it behind barred gates, limiting its shores. I said, thus far and no further you will come. Here your proud waves must stop. Have you ever commanded the morning to appear or caused the dawn to rise in the east? Have you made the daylight spread to the ends of the earth to bring an end to the night's wickedness? As the light approaches, the earth takes shape like clay pressed beneath a sill. It is robed with brilliant colors. Verse 16. Have you explored the springs from which the seas come? Have you explored their depths? Do you know where the gates of death are located? Have you seen the gates of utter gloom? Do you realize the extent of the earth? Tell me about it if you know. Where does light come from? How does darkness and where does it go? Can you take each to its home? Another version says, can you put each to bed? Do you know how to get there? But of course, you know all this, Job, for you were born before it was all created, and you can explain and have experienced all. Have you visited the storehouses of snow or seen the storehouses of hail? I have reserved them as weapons for the time of trouble, for the day of battle. Where is the path to the source of light? Where is the home of the east wind? Who created a channel of torrents of rain? Who laid the path for the lightning? Who makes the rain fall on the barren land in deserts where no one lives? Who sends rain to satisfy the parched ground, to make the tender grass spring up? Oh, Job, if you know, tell me. Does the rain have a father? Who gives birth to the dew? Who is the mother to the ice? Who gives birth to the frost in the heavens? From the water that turns to ice as hard as a rock and the surface of the water that freezes? Can you direct the movement of the stars, bind the cluster of Pleiades, or loose the cords of Orion? Can you direct the sequence of seasons or guide the bear and her cubs across the heavens? Do you know the laws of the universe? Can you take them and regulate the earth? Can you shout to the clouds, make it rain? I know we got a lot of rappers shouting to the clouds, make it rain, girl. But God, look at the clouds and say, make it rain. Come on, somebody say, make it rain. Can you imagine the lightning appear and cause it to strike as you direct? Who gives intuition to the heart and instinct to the mind? Who is wise enough to count all the clouds? Who can tilt the water jars of heaven to make it rain? Come on, I came to let you know that your God has Your God is better than you thought he was. Come on, I know we sit here and we're like, God, why am I going through all this? Why am I feeling alone? And God says, I got you, baby. Look, I got the rain. I got the clouds. I control the lightning. And you worried about your bills? You're worried about your friends? You're worried about your church? The best prayer I've ever prayed is, hey, this isn't my church, huh? Hey, you know what? You might be able to do that too. Hey, this isn't my life, huh? Hey, this isn't my bill, huh? Hey, this isn't my relationship to restore. God's gonna have to help me restore this. Hey, this isn't God, you're gonna have to give me the strength. And God, I know you have all strength. And Lord, I'm asking that you would empower me with all strength. And Jesus, when he came to this earth, he did not come in his whirlwind power. He did not come in his lightning shooting power. He did not rip open the sky and say, ta-da. How you like those apples? Right? He didn't do that. I mean, part of us wish he would have. So did the people of God. They wanted to rip open the sky, take seat on his throne, and freak everybody out that had been torturing them. But God came in the backside of a town, in a manger. He came as a baby. Why? Because he took all of his power and he put it in his love. How much power is in that love? And that love brought him all the way to a cross where he held two hands out. The hands that could have ripped the universe open. Could have called legions of angels. But he died in your and my place to shout to us, I put all my power in my love. And the one thing you need to experience is the power of my love. And if you receive the power of my love, there is nothing and nobody that can stop you. Who cares if they don't like you? You let them walk out like they came in, because as long as I am for you, who can be against you? I love you. How big? It will take you your entire lifetime and the rest of eternity walking to the left and walking to the right and flying to the top and getting to the bottom to discover the breadth, width, and depth of my love. It is too great to receive in a lifetime. I love you. I love you. This is how we fight our battles, is we realize that we are loved. We are chosen. And that is the only vision you need. When you have a vision of him, you need no other vision. Some of us are praying all year. January 1st coming, I need to get a new vision of my body. January 1st is coming, I need to get a new vision to read my Bible. January 1st is coming, I need to get a new vision for my career. God says, no, you only need one vision. All others pale in comparison. You get a vision of me. You get a vision of what I'm doing. You know that God, while you're frustrated, while you're going through battles, God is not up like this. Michael, did you not get in the calendar? I told you to send money to their mailbox so they could pay their bills, and you didn't send money. I can't believe this. We keep screwing this thing up. We got way too many people down there that are getting saved. I don't even know what's going on. God is not Santa Claus. God is not your boss. God is not you. It freaked the disciples out in the storm because when they were in the storm, Jesus was asleep. They're thinking they're gonna die and God is asleep. It's funny, but it happens to us all the time. I'm in the middle of my storm and you asleep. You gonna answer me? You gonna help me out of this? You gonna send someone to love on me? Why are you asleep? We're frustrated that he's asleep. We're trying to wake him up. And God wakes up, wipes the sleep from his eyes, walks to the end of the bow, calms the storm, looks at him and says, you of little faith. Did you think we were going to go down in a storm? I was asleep not because I was tired. I was asleep because I was at peace in the storm. We want God to freak out with us. And when he doesn't, we're frustrated. God is not freaking out because your bills aren't paid. God is not freaking out because you're alone. God is not freaking out because you're walking through lust again. God is not freaking out because you're walking through fear again. God is not freaking out because you're walking through anger again. He is up on his big bad throne with the earth as his footstool. He is working planets and solar systems, and he's got his hand on your life. You can't run from it. You can't hide from it. I love that scripture in Isaiah chapter 6. He says, I saw the Lord, and he was high and lifted up. Right before that, it says, in the year that King Uzziah died. King Uzziah was their favorite king. He was the king that protected. Everyone was freaking out. Oh my God, King Uzziah died. What are we going to do? And Isaiah is seeking the Lord, and he has this vision, and he goes, when I got to heaven, God wasn't frustrated. He wasn't crying. He wasn't sad. He wasn't worried. He wasn't like, oh no, oh myself. What are we going to do? He wasn't pacing. He wasn't sweating. God was up on his throne being worshiped. In fact, the worship was so crazy, they didn't even need the ocean song to get it really in. They were on the same lines. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty. The whole earth is filled with his glory. You mean even in my trial, even in my pain, even in my situation, yeah, God is in charge. And there's these men, and they're sitting on a roof, and their enemy has surrounded them. I don't know if you're here today with vision, but the only vision you can see now is your enemy. Then you can relate to the servant in this story, because he has stationed himself where he needs to be, but all he can see is what's coming against him, not who's with him. 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 15. When the servant of the man of God got up and went out early the next morning, an army with horses and chariots had surrounded the city. Oh no, my Lord, what are we gonna do? The servant asked. 16. Don't be afraid. The prophet answered, those who are with us are more than those who are with them. And Elijah prayed and opened his eyes. Lord, open his eyes so he may see. This is my prayer every day. Lord, open these eyes so I may see. Lord, open their eyes so they may see. Because whatever you see, you believe. Because seeing is believing. It's not hearing, that's believing. The ears are the first floodgate. You hear something, and what's the first thing you do? You look to see if what you heard is what you thought it was. Some of you have heard about God, so you showed up. And you're still looking for the God you've heard about. My prayer for you today is that you see that God, not just hear about him. And that nobody can take his love away from you. Nobody can rob you of what God only can give you. The servant's eyes were open, and he looked and he saw the hills full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. I love this story. Elijah's up there and he's just chilled. His enemy has found Elijah because Elijah is given secret knowledge to the people of God. Elijah in his prayer time can hear the next battle strategy of the enemy in his prayer time, and he's thwarting the enemy at every level. So the enemy gets a real smart idea and he surrounds the man of God. Let me let you know this. If you have been surrounded by the enemy, it's not because you have been ineffective. I know you feel like you failed, so God is just, allowing the enemy. No, the enemy is, look, he is not omnipresent. He can't be everywhere at once. So if there's attack coming against you, you must be pretty special, baby. There must be something on your life that he sees, even if you don't see it. I know you don't see it. That's okay. Sometimes you got to look in the enemy's eyes and see what God sees in you, because the enemy sometimes sees more in you than you see in yourself. You don't cage up a lion because it's nice. You cage up a lion because it's dangerous. If I brought a lion in this room and just roaming around, you'll be like, oh God, Pastor, we love you. Rap videos look cool, but this ain't no rap video. Like, that lion could eat one of us, but if I put him in a cage, it was locked. You might be willing to come close. If the enemy has come close to you, the only way he can get close to you is to cage you up. The only reason why he cages you up is because you're dangerous. If the enemy has surrounded you, it's not because God has forgotten you, it's because God has chosen you. I don't think you're getting it. I don't think you're catching it. If you're walking through anger, if you're walking through lust, if you're walking through a battle, if you're walking through a fight, you are not chosen. You are the chosen one that God has chosen. Quit beating yourself up. Quit feeling like God's forgot you. Quit feeling like, what am I going to do here? No, you have been called and chosen. I get nervous if there is no attack against my life. If there's no attack, that means I've probably been ineffective. The enemy's not too worried about me. But if he's worried about me, he must know something I don't know. And there was something that this man didn't know. Not even his enemy knew, but Elijah knew. I'm here to be Elijah for you. I'm here to open your eyes. I know you see the enemy, but do you see God? This whole sermon, I've been setting this up for this moment. I know you see the enemy, but do you see God? I just read for like 10 minutes who God is to Job. I just told you that he took all of his power and put it in his love. I know you see your enemy, but do you see your God? Is he this big? Is he a dead statue you worship? Did he defeat death, hell, and the grave, or was that another person? I know you see your anger, but do you see God? I know you see your lust, but do you see your God? I know you see your lack, but do you see your God? Look, I came because I'm not freaking out, because I see the God that has surrounded us. I know you feel surrounded by the enemy, but I came to let you know we don't have to change our location. We don't have to run in fear. We are fearless, church. All we got to do is pray for your eyes, because without vision, the people perish. God, open my eyes. See, you keep praying for God to get rid of the enemy. God, get rid of fear out of my life. Get rid of anger out of my life. Get rid of lack out of my life. And God's like, no, you're praying wrong. You're putting too much attention and power on the enemy. The enemy has been defeated. If you're not praying for the enemy to get rid of, you're praying this. Why am I here, God? Why am I going through this? No, Elijah didn't have him pray either. He put his hands on his eyes and said, open his eyes. Show him God in the midst of his enemies. You know, your God is a hunter. He's the king of the jungle. You don't got to worry about the hyenas. He is the lion of the tribe of Judah. You ain't got to worry about fear. Look, he took fear, death, hell, and the grave, wrapped him in your God is so bad. What are you worried about poverty for? He owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. God, show me you. His eyes were opened. And all of a sudden, something that was there the whole time, he sees for the first time. You have to catch that, because God is not on a production schedule like the American church. He's not trying to put his best foot forward when he needs to, and the rest is not real. God did not show up with an angel army because he prayed. The angel army was there the whole time. In fact, I wonder if the angel army was there before time. God does not move, he manifests. I wonder if the whole time when you've been allowing something to defeat you because you thought you were surrounded, I wonder if the whole time all you needed to ask for is, God, let me see where you're at. Oh, okay. This devil thinks he's got me. I need to let him know I got you. Elijah prays for his eyes to be open, and then he prays for the army's eyes to be blinded. You need to start looking at fear once you see God, and you can get some boldness. You can get some courage. You see, Jesus didn't die to just take away your sins. He died to give you authority. I don't know if you know what kind of authority you have, but you won't walk in it till you see him. If you don't know who he is, you won't walk in who you are. The moment you see him, all of a sudden you start feeling power. You start feeling courage. You can look at that same fear, that same worry, that same intimidation, and you start speaking into it. You say, fear, you must be blind now in the name of Jesus. They blind the other army. I love this. Then they walk out to the army. Hey, this is awesome. They can't see us. And they walk up to the army and they go, hey, the guy you're looking for isn't here. You're looking for someone else. In other words, the battle you're picking on, fear, is not with me. Let me take you to who it is with. And he leads that army blind to his king. I'm just wondering who here is going to lead fear to their king. I'm wondering who here is going to blind the enemy at the place where he's attacking you and say, come on, enemy, this battle's not with me. Fear, you're not picking on me because of me. You see Jesus in me. You see life in me. Let me take you to who you're really after. Come here, anger. Come here, depression. I imagine the moment where that army is surrounded in the walls and they open their eyes and they think they're going to see Elijah. They do see Elijah, but they see the king of Israel with bows drawn, swords ready. I can't wait to see fear's face as I bring him inside of the presence of God. This is why God says, boldly come before my throne of grace. What are you going to bring to his throne of grace? Oh, I'm bringing all the enemies that have surrounded me. I'm bringing the fear. I'm bringing anxiety. I'm bringing worry. I'm bringing depression. I'm going to let them know you picked the battle with the wrong guy. My dad is going to take care of you now. Let me take you into his presence. Let me take you boldly before his throne of grace. And then they don't kill him. He puts a table out. Doesn't the Bible say that God will make a table in the presence of my enemy? You know why? Because you're going to get to a place where you're not afraid of fear anymore. You'll be able to sit down with anxiety and worry and say, hey, thank you. I just wanted to share a meal with you. Thank you so much. I've realized that you have no power in comparison to my God. You are a big person where you could sit down with people that hate you, sit down with people that abuse you, and you say, you know, hey, thank you so much for what I walked through with you, because if I had not, I would not become the warrior that I am today. I would not have the eyes to see God in the middle of my pain, in the middle of my circumstance, in the middle of my hurt. Thank you so much. Thank you, fear, for coming in my life. Now I'm the pastor of Fearless Church. Thank you, insecurity. Thank you, rejection. Now I have a love for those that have been hurt and abandoned. Let's have a meal. Let's have a meal. Let's celebrate our God. Our God is a big God. He's a bad God. He's amazing. This is how we fight our battles. This is how we lift our hands. You might think, enemy, you got me surrounded. but I'm surrounded in Him. This is how we fight our battles. You may think fear, you got me surrounded. You may think worry, you got me surrounded. You may think rejection, you got me surrounded. But I came to let you know I didn't come to this party alone. I've been followed. Someone's following me. Someone's surrounding me. Come on, we lift our hands all over this room. Come on, let's open our hearts and worship.
Wow, what a powerful message. If you were touched by this, go ahead and share it on your social media accounts and leave a comment if you have any prayer requests that you would like for us to pray for you for. Thank you so much for joining us this week, and we hope to see you next week.